right, everybody, today we are going to be factoring. And what I need you to remember is that factoring is just the opposite of distributing. And if you can remember that, then you're gonna be fine for any of this, because if you can distribute, you can factor. We're just working backwards. So here's what we have. We have this quadratic, x squared plus 11x plus 24. We're trying to factor it, which means we're trying to take the trinomial, just three things, and bring it down into two binomials, which are those parentheses, which we didn't distribute. So if we remember our distributing, we know that once we multiply, we're going to end up with a constant in the middle and like terms in the end. So this is where we play that little X game we've played before. And we ask ourselves, what are the multiples of 24? Because what I need are what numbers will multiply to get 24, but add to get 11. So I start going through all the multiples in my head and I make a list. I always start with 1. 1 and 24. Obviously, 1 times 24 is 24. Well, let's keep going. 2 and 12. 3 and 8. 4 and 6. 5. Nope, 5 doesn't work. And if I go to 6, well, then I'm right back to where I'm starting. These are the 4 pairs of numbers that will multiply to get 24. Okay, so far so good. Well, now that I know that these multiply to get 24, I also have to find which pair will add to get 11. So let's just see what happens once I add them. 1 plus 24, 25. That's not going to work. 2 plus 12, 14. Close. Not quite. 3 plus 8. Aha! I found it. And just to make sure, if I did 4 plus 6, that would be 10. None of these are going to work. Our magic pair here is 3 and 8. And what we're going to have is that this right here is going to factor into x plus 3, because it's positive, times x plus 8. This right here in red is the factored form of this trinomial right here. They are exactly the same thing. And if you multiply this out, if you distribute it out, you're going to find out you'll get right back to where you started. All right, so let's try one more problem, this time with a quadratic that has some negatives in it. It's still the same process, but we just have to play our game with a little bit of positive and negative values here. So for those of us who don't love negative numbers, might be good to take out your calculator. So I have x squared minus 5x minus 24. That is a quadratic because of the x squared, trinomial because it's 3 terms. We are trying to take this and factor it, which means we are going from 3 terms to 2 binomials. All right, here we go. This is how we play our game. What is going to multiply to get negative 24, but add to get negative 5? So I always make my list of multiples. Now I picked 24 because it's actually the same numbers that we just did. So I know that my multiples of 24 are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Those are the numbers that multiply to get 24. Now you might be saying, Dr. Oldham, those are positive numbers, and I need to multiply to get a negative number. You're right. So now we got to play our game using some positives and negatives. So when I play my game, I'm trying to add to get a negative number. If you're adding with negative numbers, it's either going to go up or down, and then we'll play around with the final version of the negative numbers afterwards. But for example, if I had added, if I put both of these together, 1 and 24 would be 25, or if I had subtracted them, it would be 23. Neither of those are 5 or negative 5. So there's no way that's going to work. It's not going to be that pair. So if I did 2 and 12, if I added them, it would be 14. If I subtracted, it would be 10. Again, neither of those are 5. Not going to work. I'm running out of space a little bit. I'm going to write this over here. If I added 8 and 3, I would have 11. Or if I subtracted, I would have 5. Ooh, okay. Now I think that that's probably going to be my pair. Let's just make sure this one doesn't work. If I added 4 and 6, it would be 10. If I subtracted, it would be 2. Nope, that doesn't work. It's going to have to be 8 and 3. And now I just have to play my game. How can I get a negative 5? Well, if they were both positive, Positive 3, positive 8 would be 11. Don't want that. If they were both negative, negative 3, negative 8, negative 11. Don't want that. I keep playing. Never give up. If I had positive or negative 3 and positive 8, I would have positive 5. I'm so close. So if I had negative 3 and positive 8 and that didn't work, let's try and flip it. What about a positive 3 and a negative 8? Oh, hooray! I found it. There's my negative 5. Whew, that was a lot of work there. All this could have been done in your calculator, but I was trying to show you all of the ways that we're playing the game in our head to find our magic numbers. So now I have my numbers. 3 times negative 8 will be 24. And then 3 plus negative 8 would be negative 5. So to write our final answer, I'm just going to say x plus 3 times x minus 8. And that is the factored form of this trinomial. And if I were to multiply that out and distribute, I would get this exact answer. Or even better yet, if we're good at graphing, I could graph this and I could graph this, and they would graph right on top of each other.